And Justice, I wanted to just ask you, what were your thoughts on All-Star Weekend?
I think it was a successful All-Star Weekend, actually. I mean, I know people are a little bit hesitant, with, especially with all the attention the WNBA put into All-Star being Indiana. And, I know probably a lot of money and resources was surrounded with Caitlin participating. And so when they got word that she wasn't going to be participating, I know people were a little bit hesitant. So, I mean, unbeknownst to the WNBA, I think definitely outside of just the game and stuff, but the interaction with like the StudBudz and stuff like that definitely I think carried a lot of weight of the weekend. And I don't think they even anticipated that. So I'm sitting back thinking like, what would have All-Star Weekend been without that piece of it? What would it look like?
Yeah. Shout out to Courtney and T for that.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they just brought in like a whole new element. Just all throughout the year, but just a whole new element for fans to just kind of like observe and really enjoy the W. Kind of see the players. I think Cheryl Reeves spoke about it. Just really enjoy the players and see them like in a different light. And like she said it, before we had not seen that style, or just see players in their natural atmosphere. So it was just really good to see that. Like I remember seeing Paige and Courtney singing Keisha Cole, which I thought was dope. And it's just like, it was just fun. Like it was just really fun seeing how people like interact with players. And then I just think like, the overall like atmosphere was like a complete opposite of it last year. Like it seemed like more of a camaraderie than it did, and I thought that was really good for people to see in general. Everybody has some wild perception, like all the women hate each other for some reason. What did you think about the game?
I want to say I was surprised. I think I was hoping for it to be a little bit more competitive, but I'm not surprised that it looked the way it did because it's All-Star. And then when you throw in like the other variables that play a part into why the game was the way it was, just like they're playing today. So when am I going to go out there, break my neck in the All-Star game? And we got a game turn around after we do a whole day of events and meetings and, media all day, all for 3 days, and then turn around, bust my ass in the All-Star game. Then we got to play from Chicago. We got to play Minnesota, where games actually like count for playoff runs and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised that they didn't participate. I mean, not participate, but it didn't look like it did last year or something. I think I saw some people comparing it like they were so much more competitive last year, and I'm like, that's a different breed. A lot of people are, playing for some disrespect type stuff last season. Whole different vibe when you got an Olympic year and you do Olympics versus, non-Olympic players. And I think that plays a part into the competitive nature of the game. But yeah, I think the players had fun. I think that's the most important too. And I don't think the crowd or people watching online were like upset, even though it wasn't as competitive. It didn't feel like the NBA where they're watching the game and they're like, this is trash.
I mean, yeah, it just the only thing I'd say to kind of push back against that is just I agree with what you're saying. Like in a non-Olympic year, it's kind of more difficult. And then I'll also agree with like I think what Sabrina mentioned, like they should get more time off in between All-Star and the non-All-Star, just resuming the season again. And I feel like if it plays into a reason why they are not as competitive, then yes, they should get more of a break. And in general, they should just get more of a break. I thought it was a little too on the stage Saturday, and then they got to fly on Monday. Yeah, they need to just have a little bit more. But I would like to see him play a little bit more competitive. I would want to see him play a little bit more competitive. I think the overall vibe was just like a really, like I said, it was a camaraderie. Like everybody was at everybody's parties, and like, obviously the large looming thing was the CBA, in which they had to be joined together. So I think it's kind of difficult to kind of have like a super competitive game in that situation, and it's an All-Star game. So it's like there's a lot of things working for the players together to kind of make it more, I guess, not camaraderie. Like, what do you? I had a thought because like the WNBA also have like issues like their All-Star being competitive. Do you think that they should like switch up the format like outside of the draft?
Are you talking about like adding more elements in when you say switch with the format? Do you mean like how they pick the teams?
Yeah, so like I was thinking, I'm like, okay, if in my mind, I'm like, the NBA is doing international versus the world, but I don't know, I don't think the W is going to do that. But I was like, well, why not just put?
Sorry, I can't. You're kind of like either I can't hear you very well, or you're kind of
Uh-oh.
okay. Just repeat it.
Yeah, I was saying like the NBA has like international versus the world, but I'm like, instead of doing that, why not just put like younger players versus older players that are all star and see how much more competitive they can be against each other.
Yeah, so I don't think they should do that. I still think they should have the All-Star game where it's like the voting and things like that.
I
But
agree.
maybe in the first night, instead of doing like versus the world, because our international players aren't like that. They'll just honestly, I think they just end up getting smacked. But I think we tap into what is a big piece of our marketing and things of that nature in the younger group. So like maybe I don't know how they want to formulate it, how they want to call it, because all of them aren't going to make All-Star. You know what I mean? But we do have to acknowledge they do all have a big draw. So, we saw even with some of the media, they're asking them, who would you take, the class of 2025 or the class of 2026? So already there's not a narrative, but an attention that these players are bringing. So capitalizing on that, and again, I would do maybe, through Angel and Caitlin's class all the way to this upcoming rookie class and maybe do an up and coming game. And maybe it's not picked between 2025 to 2026, but a game solely dedicated to, what we're going to see is Flage and AZ and Paige and Caitlin and, Angel and Cam, like that group where all of them can't make All-Star, but we have a game that still taps into that attention and maybe have one of the older players, coach them, and they draft them that way. So, the captains are the captains of the All-Star game, but then they're also the coaches during, you can call it the up and coming or, the young blood game or something like that to really tap into that young audience and those players who already have such wide fan bases, wide audiences, a lot of name recognition, all that things, and capitalize on that on All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, honestly. And it's like having players under a certain age all compete in the game against each other, not necessarily like rookie sophomore. But I thought that they should have actually had a rookie sophomore game for the last 2.5 weeks, but we'll see how that improves on the third All-Star or
Because I
next.
really like the rookie sophomore game because I still want to, because like Camilla
No,
may not make All Star this year, and neither maybe can make, and maybe Rakia won't. So
right.
there's still a big group that like won't be sophomores anymore, but still have that recognition that they can capitalize on it. So that's why we'll put them in a pool, and then get and draft them kind of the same way that we draft for the All Star game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Let me ask you this. So what do you think was the highlight of All-Star this weekend, I guess?
I think it's not cliche, but like I definitely think the stream, the 72-hour stream, the stuff, but because
Wow.
again, it just added a different element into the league. There's so much that again, as fans, people don't understand that it's not just the games that go on during All-Star weekend. Unless you go to All-Star weekend, you probably, again, unless you're tapped in for real, think that, oh, this is just the game, but they don't understand that it's a whole weekend of activation and events and things of that nature. So I think showing people actually what All-Star is all about in terms of just events and whatever the case may be, and you can buy tickets to this and whatever, all these other things and behind the scenes, I think really open people's eyes. I mean, people are already talking about next year and wanting to get tickets and go to All-Star and participate in all these other things. So I definitely think that was one of the highlights because people were tapped in, really paying attention to the stream for literally 72 hours.
Yeah, I know. I will go the opposite, and then but that's funny. They agree with you. There's an echo. Like it's bad. StudBudz were the highlight for sure. I will go the opposite. So outside of like the fun aspect of All-Star, I go to the more serious aspect of it. I think the highlight was the CBA. I love the fact that the players united and they should be. I think that they made a really great statement. Shout out to Asia and shout out to everybody that obviously put on everybody put on their shirts. But I just thought it was really cool seeing how everybody was in a united front. And I think it's crazy that people don't understand why they're trying to, and they should. I think that they should. I think they should get elevation. at least $250,000 to $500,000 a year, and that's just every player starting. And then max salary should be anywhere in between $1 to $2 million.
But that's the thing people don't understand is a couple things. That one, this is not new to the WNBA. Like they
No,
can on a t-shirt, like, but you can tell with new fans or people who aren't privy to the WNBA, they're like, I can't believe they did this, and I'm like,
but they've done this before.
they can put on a t-shirt. The WNBA players are going to put on a t-shirt if they are going to do anything. And then the CBA negotiations and stuff like that. It's education and understanding, and when something doesn't make sense, I always preach that, like, when it doesn't make sense, the answer's probably right in front of you. When the math don't math, because you have to ask yourself, why do they want to push back so hard? You know what I mean? Like 9%, but the league is dying. But they just, again, we had the understanding that they were adding 3 new teams. Then out of nowhere, they're saying we're adding 3 more teams, but the league is dying. Like that sentence in itself makes no sense, which tells you that, yeah, they're probably lowballing them. Like, come on, it's not rocket science here. So yeah, pay those ladies.
Absolutely. And then they're signing a $2 million or $2 billion TV deal. So I'm like, you're telling me, and they should. I was reading that their revenue split is like it's either 20, it's in between 9 and 20%, which is just insane. Give them a 50-50 revenue split at least, and then move on. Pay the ladies what they're asking for. I feel like, again, unless they're ready for Unrivaled, to just give away all their talent and then just build their league up into what they should be. Pay them what they want. And then if you're the W, it's like you should want to get rid of every single other league in existence because they're a threat to your existence. So why wouldn't you do that?
At first, I was saying, I had a conversation. I was like, we were having a conversation. This was back when Unrivaled started. Like, who doesn't threaten, like, on the surface level, people were like, Unrivaled does not threaten the WNBA because the WNBA is the big sister. But during a CBA potential lockout, it does threaten the WNBA because suppose when we have situations like the NBA, where if there's a lockout, none of those players are playing overseas. None of those players have a second source of income. They are NBA players. Maybe they have Brian Dales and sponsors, but majority of everybody, they are NBA players. But it's different in the WNBA because, yes, we play in the WNBA, but what is it? I forgot what it was before Unrivaled, but it was like 80% of the league is playing overseas. Yeah. And the 20% that's not playing overseas can sustain their income based upon your Asia Wilsons and your Sabrinas and Brianna Stewarts who don't have to play. Now with AU, Unrivaled, and overseas, if there is a lockout, players do have a second job somewhere where they're not going to completely be looking like, dang, I ain't got no money, no income, no nothing. Yes, I can still be making it, and it gives the players leverage. So I can understand why the WNBA wants to kill every other league, especially if it comes to a lockout.
They should. I mean, they should. Even if there wasn't, like, you don't want your players getting hurt not playing in your league. Like, why would you? If you're the W, it's like pay them women. Go ahead.
But the WNBA doesn't understand they're only in this situation because of themselves. Like, there's one person you can blame is you. Like, this was all preventable. The only reason Unrivaled was created is to subsidize another income so the players don't have to go overseas, and then they provide them with the amenities and everything that they deserve. Like, this all can be prevented if y'all did the right thing from the jump, but yet you can't get mad that y'all put yourselves in this position and players are doing what's best for them now.
And they're and the W's they're like thinking backwards, like, oh, you have to pay the owners back what they lost. That's your responsibility. Y'all messed that up. Y'all messed that up.
How am I gonna pay? If I own a business, it's my business. I don't ask my own business to pay me back. It's my business. You own the WNBA. You can't get mad. That's like, you gotta pay us back. You own it. It's your responsibility as an owner to show up and make sure your business is successful. Coca-Cola doesn't look at Powerade and go, Powerade, if you guys are failing and you don't make money, you got to pay us back. No, because we own Powerade. They don't look at Minute Maid and go, Minute Maid, you guys, hey, did not produce what you needed this year. You're going to have to pay us back once you just start being successful. Like, no, because I own Minute Maid. And I think the WNBA has done a disservice to the league by not killing that subsidized, like, narrative, because people have it misconstrued, thinking that Kathy calls up Adam at the end of every season is like, hey, Adam, can you loan me $40 million, please? And Adam, out of the gracious of his heart, writes a check. Like, that's not how it gets done. You own it in WNBA. That is your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no damn sense.
And it doesn't make sense that why the NBA isn't including the W like negotiations. I mean, I'm talking about like when they strike TV deals for themselves as well. It's like a lot of stuff that hasn't made sense with the W. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. But what I was saying is like they need to pay them for what they're going to do in the future. That's the whole point of the negotiation. It's not for what they've done in the past. You negotiate on a contract based on what somebody's getting ready to do for you, not what they've done. I mean, a part of it is what they've done already as well. But in the last 2 years, you've seen the league grow. So I was like, why wouldn't you just pay them the money that they're asking for? And for the players, good job to you. Go on strike if that's what it takes, because they shouldn't have to play for pennies. And I'm not saying 70,000 to 100, etc. But what I'm saying is, you need to. I'm happy that they're standing up for themselves and they're saying, "Hey, it's been like this for the last decade,
30 years,
3 decades." Yeah, it's time for a change, and it is. They should, especially. I mean, like most professional athletes are working second jobs, which is just insane. But
my question always becomes like, do you anticipate the WNBA slowing down within the next couple of years? And everyone's like, no.
So then why would they
wouldn't they, like, if the trajectory, if we're on the same page about the trajectory that it's going to keep growing, why would the players play small right now? That would be stupid. And people throw in Caitlyn, and I'm like, do you anticipate Caitlyn to stop playing in the WNBA within the next couple of years? Because they always go, people critique him like, the league's only growing because of one person. Okay, whatever. She's still here. Call it what you want. Say it's one person. I don't know what you need to tell yourself to sleep at night, whatever the case may be. All I know is the league isn't slowing down with Caitlyn, because of Caitlyn, whatever the case may be. It is what it is. Hey, listen, it's going to continue to grow. So whoever you need to give the credit to make yourself sleep at night, I appreciate it. Do what you got to do. It's not slowing down.
At all. I'm going to just read this real quick. Let me see. Put this up. The league and these major news outlets are definitely lying about their losses. There you go. Adam said the W lost 10 million in 2018, and now said 45 million and everything. I don't know. What I do know is it's insane that the W is having to fight for extra money. They should make at least 2.
And we don't know what losses look like. Like, no one knows. Like 40 million, and no one pushes back and asks, like, where does that come from? You know what I mean? How? Like 40 million in what? We just hear 40 million, 100, like all these wild ass numbers, and no one asks like how or what? Because it's not like, again, with all the booming in the other areas, and I know the TV rights is such a big piece, but like that area hasn't changed. And if we know that there was also an additional, like, yes, the flights and stuff also, you know what I mean, that is an added expense.
That should have been already in place.
Yeah, all the growth, because again, yes, the private flights are more expensive, but like considering what you guys probably like pay for in travel commercially and things like that bill, I don't know how much that bill is going to be, but considering all the money that you guys brought in additionally that you don't have to give to any of the players, maybe the math ain't mathing for me that it should be $40 million, a difference of an increase of $30 million.
Then some of the comments, some people are pushing back, but just starting to watch the WNBA and the NBA things. I mean, hey, you just get ready to watch them. Like, get ready. And just to speak about this right quick, y'all heard it with us first. I don't know if y'all heard it, but we said we were one of the first people that said it. And shout out to Jordan, who, like I said, he's out today. But we both talked about how Unrivaled. He didn't think it was conspiracy. He was the fact that Unrivaled was created because of the CBA, and they introduced 2 years before the CBA negotiations started, knowing this would be a safe place for players to get, knowing that they're going to get paid more, knowing that they're going to get the amenities, and shout out to playing in the best league in the world. So Unrivaled, shout out to Unrivaled, like once again. It's looking like facts. Keep going.
I had someone in my comments talking about it's a scam league, and I'm like, Unrivaled has never lied about who they are and what they are. I don't think Unrivaled wants to be here in 10 years. It's temporary and a thing as a placeholder until the players can get what the money they deserve and need and the resources they need. Like, I don't think it's a scam, and give them some leverage in these CBA negotiations. And somebody posed it as the Unrivaled was trying to pull one over on people and scam people and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't think Unrivaled has ever lied about who and what they're supposed to do.
Sorry about the echo, everybody. I think I don't know. Appreciate that, but just to kind of put, and I agree. I don't scam league. Can we put some blames on the teams that don't invest in their team players? The league has to pay for what they don't.
100%. The league, Connecticut, why are we just adding 6 new teams, but you guys haven't put no heat on nobody to force them to make facilities or sell Connecticut? Like, there's
I had some other names. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. Like, it's public information about who has facilities and who doesn't. I'm curious to see what Atlanta's going to do when their contract with Core 4 it comes up here. I think like 2026. I haven't seen Atlanta convey anything about building some facilities yet. I think they fly under the radar because Core 4, which is owned by an ex-NBA player, does have nice amenities, whatever the case may be, but it's not their own facility. But because it has good amenities, they fly under the radar. Unless you are at a building like Minnesota, where you are sharing with your men counterpart
LA.
or the Mystics, there needs to be some conversation about you having some sort of amenity for the players. That's bottom line. Bottom line.
And that's why I love that the W is investing in franchises with this expansion, even though they should have came to Miami, that have already NBA facilities set up, will have an NBA facility set up for their players. I think that that's super important, and that's Satsu's talked about it this offseason. That's the reason why she signed with Phoenix.
But are we? Like when we talk about the NBA franchises they went to, the Pistons. You know what I mean? Like, I don't watch a lot of NBA. Are these the best NBA franchises? Like, I gotta push back because I hate that the WNBA wants to do the same playbook as the NBA. We are 2 different leagues that are marketed and need to be marketed vastly different. And the fact of the StudBudz and Natisha Hiedeman, Cindy Colson should also just show you that we are marketed very differently. In the WNBA, you do not have to be the best player in the league to have push and pull and people to tap in and interested. Please name me an NBA player who has the same type of marketability that is or commercials, things of that nature, like Sydney Colson. Has the same role as Sydney Colson and has that type of marketability.
Kobe. That's probably one of Marjanovic. That's probably the only one that I could think of off the top. Boban Marjanovic. He's in commercials and stuff. That's probably the only one. That's my point. The casual fan, Boban Marjanovic. Boban.
I've never heard of that man.
I can give you 5. I can't give you 5, but that's probably the only one I could think of.
And that's the thing about the W that makes it so special. Are one, you can't get on social media right now, go to, tap into a live and see, what's my man's name? That was the number 1 pick. They're not, the content's different. The interactions are different. The personal is different. Like, the tangibility of the WNBA is what makes it so special. Yes, the parasocial relationships can get weird, but that is what makes it so different. And I think where we do a disservice is that we try to market, or they try to market the WNBA the same way they do the NBA, and it's not the same playbook. And if they embrace what makes the WNBA so special and unique, I think they would see a difference in the results, because you do not have to be the best, the star, the biggest name on your team. With a little bit of personality and giving them the platform, you can see the end results. And I think we do ourselves a disservice because we do try to run the same playbook. And I think that might be a reflection in making sure, like, let's make sure we get to all the NBA cities. Yes, they've already, like,
so you know, I know they've done all the NBA cities.
I mean, they've done their research, but like, why is that a must? You know what I mean? Right now, again, they have the whole team.
I answer that question right quick. What did you say? What did you say before? If it ain't broke, what?
Don't fix it. Was broke. I mean, they went to cities where the team's already folded. The Pistons were there already when the Detroit Shock folded.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about right now.
You said don't fix it.
I agree with the Detroit. I mean, shout out to Detroit, but I didn't think they should have went to Detroit. I didn't think they should have went to Cleveland.
Like, I have no problem with it. But my question is, why is it a necessity? Because there are other cities that were offering the same, like, again, they have a whole team who probably did a research and whatever the case may be, and there's probably a thought that went into it. But I'm still posing the question of, you guys shut down cities that also can prove to be supportive and things of that nature, like Tennessee, you know what I mean, that people are excited about, blah, 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 to go to because it has an NBA team. Like, why the NBA team? Because again, we can do the Portland Fire teamed up with the Portland Thorns. They're on the same ownership group. Their facility, their practice facility is right next to the soccer facility. Why is the NBA a necessity? And that just, again, brings you back to my original point that sometimes we try to run the same playbook in marketing and whatever opposing WNBA as the NBA, and we're not them. And I think that it does the players a disservice.
What do you think they should have won? That's a great question. Where do you think they should have won then?
And then that's always my question is injustice. And whenever I critique people and I say, you give me a suggestion that doesn't work, do you have a backup that's better? I personally think, one, I wouldn't have been mad at bringing back, again, I know they say it's on the radar for Houston, but like, I'm good with Philly. I have no problem with Philly. I like Philadelphia. I don't think it's a bad one. I definitely think that they should have, again, I would have picked another city over Cleveland just because, I mean, I would have probably done Tennessee just because of if you look at everybody in the South is fighting over the Atlanta Dream.
I know.
We have put everybody in one sector of the whole entire and said, you guys got to fight over the Atlanta Dream. I don't. It does a disservice. And then
the South, Tennessee.
Tennessee's not really the South, but maybe that's probably as close you're going to get because, again, I understand that there's probably a thought process of why there is not any NBA real team over there in the not deep South, but like outside of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? It don't get you're only so far that wins less. Who has a team in Mississippi? Like Alabama, like there is a reason why they have not gone to certain states. So I understand that you can't get too greedy, too picky, but I definitely think putting everybody in one sector, yeah.
NBA ownership get priority over cities that would be new to the league. But her question is why? If you already know that they're in the same cities that have failed before, that's Justice's question. Why?
Like I understand why the NBA ownership. It's a boys' club. Like, don't fix it, man. If I see this is a money right here, let me and my homie in. I got my good friends over there in Cleveland, the Cavs. Yeah, go ahead and get into this. I already know Kathy personally. Like you got the votes because you get a bid gets approved by the Board of Governors. If the Board of Governors, which is one representative from each team, gets a vote, is filled with NBA ownership groups. Who do you think they're voting for?
NBA ownership groups.
The NBA ownership groups. There we go.
Speaking of NBA, a lot of commenters are writing Charlotte, and thank you for helping me. Yeah, I didn't know Nashville. Nashville because I like Nashville. It's a nice area, Tennessee. But yeah, a lot of them are saying Charlotte. Yeah, they're right.
Wouldn't have been mad at Charlotte too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that again. I just always get annoyed when we try to run the same playbook because it's not the same.
I really do wish. Speaking of, even though you're talking about teams that have folded before, I need Miami to get a team again, bro.
Miami. Hey, I'll be cool with Kansas City. I know you guys are going to push back at that. If they were smart, they would have reached out. Or if they were smart, Pat Mahomes should have reached out to Junior Bridgman's ownership group. And if you're not familiar with Junior Bridgman, you should do some research. Absolutely. He's the most low-key when you talk about NBA money, you hear about LeBron's, you hear about Shaq, you hear about all these people. His money's up there with them. He is a billion. Well, he just passed away recently. But his ownership group and stuff is still ran by his kids. I live in Kansas City. I work for a company owned by Junior Bridgman. That should have been a phone call. I mean, he's a part owner in the Milwaukee Bucks already. Like, we're talking deep money, active money. They own Ebony Magazine. They own Coke Canada, Coca-Cola, Heartland Coca-Cola, Manna Foods, like big money. Kansas, right here in Kansas City is the Heartland Coca-Cola's headquarters. So, like, if Pat was smart, they should have leveraged him as much as possible. And he's black. So, you throw in the diversity piece there too. Yeah. We were thinking harder, not smarter. I talked to his son, and I was like, Justin, I'm trying to get y'all to buy a WA team. I'm trying to get a job.
I want to throw in some money. I'll throw in some money.
That's what I'm saying. So I just, I would love Kansas City. Because it would have been the same ownership group under we would have run the same playbook as the Portland Thorns, as that partnership between the Kansas City Current and the NWS. I would love to see us here. as the NWSL grows, to partner more with NWSL teams and find their ownership groups and things of that nature. Now their playbook, they was passing out franchises all willy-nilly for a minute too when they were expanding really quickly.
We have an NWSL team and Fort Lauderdale.
See, like they went really, but their criteria for ownership groups and how their ownership groups are ran is a little different.
Well, just quickly, shout out to the Orlando Pride. They got a beautiful facility in the downtown Orlando's name. Near the Mathis Arena. Just to your point about investing in cities that are like in a different manner, like it could work. It could work, But we got Detroit and Cleveland. We got Detroit and Cleveland. And Toronto is going to be really fun. I think Toronto's really good. I want to see how that kind of matriculates. But I think the Toronto tempo.
Yeah, somebody was talking about like they should have All-Star in Toronto, and I'm like, I don't see that happening. Just because passports over the sea, like it's going to be really difficult from a logistics standpoint to host All-Star in Toronto.
You gotta. I mean, like they have to prove that they have a legit fan base there. So I'm not saying that they won't.
Has NBA ever been hosted in Toronto?
It has. It's been in Toronto before, but that was after decades. It was 2016. Kobe's last year was a game in Toronto, so like that took them a minute. Like they had to build that. The Toronto Raptors weren't even like Vancouver and Toronto both weren't really like. It took time.
Vegas 7 times before they do that.
Toronto is one of the best cities in North America. Make sure I go to Toronto. Shout out to Toronto. I do like Toronto. We'll see. I just think it's just going to take some time before they can get awarded an All-Star game. And I'm like, do All-Star games have to be hosted in cities that aren't like that are WNBA cities?
Based upon my research, they have never been hosted in cities that do not have a team. I think that is our criteria. I would like for that to change. Maybe because I think from marketing standpoint, like you think of when Indiana was announced, it was the Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell graphics that went up, and I think it's from a marketing standpoint that it needs to be hosted. I don't think it should be a because somebody has to plan it. And again, like in Kansas City, we have like this Kansas City Sports Commission that does the big events like the Final Four and stuff like that. So like obviously you would have there's an organization within a city that does big sporting events and stuff like that. But up until this point, for the last 30-something years, every time it's been in a city that has a team.
Yeah, I mean, I would think, but I mean, I'm like, why not do something different? Why not? Speaking of different, let me ask you this: who do you feel like is going to have the best second half of the year? And I mean, and then like, who do you feel like is going to drop off?
Sounds like the New York Liberty right now.
Oh, so they're dropping off? You put them on your drop-off list?
Oh, not drop-off. They don't have the best. I thought you asked for the best.
No, I'm asking for both. So, like, team that's going to do the best in the second half, and then I guess the worst. And then opposite.
I mean, I don't see something shaking over there in Dallas. I think they're continuing to struggle. It depends on who's healthy, too, If Indiana, I can see Indiana going up and down depending on
the hell.
When Kate comes back, if they're able to figure it out, the mojo with Kate, whatever the case may be, or staying kind of where they're at. I think the Mystics will continue to gradually climb. I don't see the Aces,
Death to the Aces?
But what do you think happened in the last week that's going to change everything?
Asia's health.
Asia was healthy 3/4 of the season.
No, it's not.
I mean, she had that concussion in the wrist, but like even with the games, they still struggled with her.
That's funny because for teams that I feel like are gonna have the second half, I was gonna put Las Vegas. I still got faith in the top 5. I still got faith in the top 5. Yeah, I got faith in the
5 is crazy.
I mean, I don't think it is. What kind of
inspired
That's all I know. They got Asia Wilson.
Asia is already
I'm
one
Asia
out there.
Asia. My faith.
It's not Asia that's the problem.
I know it's not. But if it means for me, because I know the type of player she is, if it means dropping 50 and dragging I'm not gonna curse, but dragging into I'm putting my faith in Asia.
My question is, she's already
She could play at another level. She's been playing, but she could play at another level.
At some point, everybody else got to take some personal responsibility.
I agree.
That Asia Wilson is literally killing herself out there, having to do damn near everything because everybody else is playing like they're incompetent. At some point, everybody else has to take some personal responsibility. As this is not Asia's job. It is her job, but it is not her job. Everybody else has to come along.
You the GOAT, you the MVP, you the one. Like, I mean, I hear you. It's the same conversation I got with LeBron. At time, it's you. They got to play through you. And if you got, this is not like a shot at Asia or her. I just know that she's like that good. Where I can see them making a push because she's like, hey, bump it. I'm gonna average 35 over the next. So be it. And I can see her doing that.
To Dallas.
I know. Hey, and did they? No, because she dropped 36. That's my point. That's my point. That is my point.
Points, but every night asking again, if you're to go, you're to go. I get it. Hey, to heavy is the crown that you wear. I get it. But even with that, that's not going to beat some of these teams who are much better than Dallas. Asia Wilson alone.
Phoenix on the road. Already beat them. Knocked them off.
Asia Wilson alone. Damn near, yes, we'll give you 40, 50 piece, and we will still lose because in the WNBA, it takes more than just one player for us to, especially against the good teams. Yes, we can do that against Dallas, the Mystics, Chicago, teams like that. But when we start talking about people who got full rosters, even Indiana might give them a run for the rosters. It's not going to cut it.
Indiana already beat them. I know. They beat Indiana too.
6 and 7. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be tough. 6 and 7 for them to be in the top where they should be. It's going to take more than Asia. Now they can get past.
I'm not saying I disagree.
It's nature.
You disagree? I have faith. Like I picked them to finish top 4, top 5. I think they're gonna get it done.
I'll give them 6 or 7.
They're not that far playing right now. They're not that far off.
Yes, I know they're 6 and 7, but that's still at the. Maybe I consider at the bottom. If you barely make playoffs, I still think you're at the bottom. 6 and 7 is still at the bottom. Like there's the bottom 4, and then there's that little 1 or 2 that are right above that, top, middle, and then you got your top, which is your top 4.
So they're not that far off. Let me Aces.
They're dancing.
They 11 and 11. They're 4 games. They're 4 games. They're 3 games behind Seattle at 4.
You would say like 3 games is not a lot of games.
It's not. It's not. It's
3
not.
games isn't a lot.
It's not. No. It's not. It's not a lot. No.
In that case, the Valkyries are on their ass.
And speaking of Valkyries, that's one of the as much as I going to say it's gonna be okay. I think they're gonna have a fall off. I think there's another team in the top 8 that I feel like is gonna fall. So we'll see. I mean that's because I'm hoping that the Los Angeles Sparks it ain't looking like that.
No, I think the Sparks are cooked.
I mean, I'm not ready to say it yet, but like they're getting to that point. I don't know. I owe Jordan a steak dinner because I told him before. I was grossly wrong on that bet.
I'm crying.
I am. I mean, I didn't believe in Phoenix until they put it together because their bench just wasn't. Their bench has been benching. They've been playing well. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I do have to slide. I do have a meeting, but I appreciate this. We'll do this again in a week or so.
I appreciate it, Justice. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
But yeah, so the fact that, just to kind of, I guess, go back with the Aces, I'm not ready to give up on them. They're 3 games behind Seattle. I think that they could get the job done. I mean, it's hard to bet against somebody like Asia. Like, again, she's up there for greatest of all time. And the fact that she's there, you're always going to have a chance to win, no matter if she has to score 30 or 40 points for them to win. Again, I can see Aaliyah Nye really. I mean, she's been having a great rookie season, but I can see her even going at another level. I can see all of them playing at a higher level than they did before. And I don't think Becky Hammond is done. I don't know if they're gonna be a contender for a championship, obviously, but I don't think that I'm ready to just kind of give up hope on what they've been doing this year. Aces need to make a trade. We'll see. We'll see if they do. And then again, shout out to the trade that they got. Melissa Smith has been playing really well for this team, so I don't think that they're over yet. 3 games is one good week. I agree. 3 games is one good week. Mystics and Fever have the same record. We'll see how both teams do. I'm really intrigued about Washington. They're in the 7th spot right now, and like if they keep playing like this, they will be in the playoffs. Washington's been playing really well, and like Sidney Johnson spoke about it, he feels like his team is kind of just they hit a turning point where they're knowing how to close games. A lot of the losses that they suffered in the beginning of the year were just like I think they lost 3 or 4 games by 6 points, like a combined 6 points total, and it's just because they didn't know how to close out games. Obviously, youth and inexperience, but they have been just really like putting it together. Especially that week before All-Star started, I think they won 2 or 3 games before that week in all close games. One of them was against Seattle, which is a really great comeback on the road. And we'll see how that goes, because I feel like out of these teams that didn't make the playoffs, Washington, I think they have the best shot of getting in. And like that roster is so deep. And Sidney Johnson deserves a lot more credit for Coach of the Year. He's done a really great job. Jamila Weidman, she's executive of the year. She's been doing a great job in there for that team as well, getting the 3 draft picks, and they're bringing back Georgia. And then I'm happy that they haven't traded Aaliyah Edwards. I feel like there's still a place for her in Washington. I feel like, and then Washington Mystics have a really good year, man. Like that's really good about them. So KG put out like Sonya Citron. I mean, what's not to like? She's a great player for sure. Very humble young woman, and she's just a straight bucket. I think the Aces need to let go of everybody except for Asia, Jackie, and Aaliyah in the offseason. And then somebody put don't give up on Edwards. Thank you, Francesca. Yeah, I wouldn't give up on Aaliyah Edwards. I think I would try and put her in the starting lineup if it were me. But I just that's a conversation for another day. That's a complete conversation for another day. The Aces. So speaking about that Aces take, I probably would try to keep Chelsea Gray on that roster too. We'll see about that. Like how much I would try and keep her, because no matter what, you're gonna need her leadership. She's a great leader, very great leader, and her points are like her assist to turnover ratio this year is kind of like probably one of the worst that she's had it throughout her career. I think it's at like a 1 for like 4 assists to 3 turns a game, but she's still been really beneficial. I'm talking about just on a leadership front. I would keep her just to kind of show whoever the next generation is, because I think they are gonna get younger, and I think they're gonna get younger guards on that team. So if it means just having her more in an auxiliary role and just teaching the younger players what to do and how to like behave and how to become a pro, I think Chelsea Gray, there's still value in her game for any locker room, and she's putting up 14 a game on great shooting splits. So having her is like, I'm not saying to put her on the bench, but if you could have her as like a 6-man role, like you never know what that could be. But she's like, Chelsea Gray is still really good. So I don't know if I would really get rid of Chelsea Gray. She's still kind of good. They need a big. I agree with that. The Aces haven't the Aces given most of the first round picks, something like that. So we'll see. But other than that, man, appreciate y'all for joining us, and we out here.